Hey, what's up guys? Today we'll be drawing Blue Eyes White Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! In this short video tutorial, I'll be going over the step-by-step of how to create this Blue Eyes White Dragon drawing from start to finish. If you just want to see the speed drawing of this drawing, go ahead and click on the info card right now. Or you can check out the video chapter in the description below to preview all the steps or to skip to the chapter that interests you. Now, if you already love what you see on this completed drawing, feel free to hit like and subscribe now. Okay, let's take a look at the materials we need for this drawing. You're going to need a pencil, an eraser, a thick, bold black marker, a medium point black marker, and some color pencils. So right here I have a blue and a dark blue for the entire drawing, because for Blue Eyes White Dragon, that's all the colors we need. Okay, so I'll be speed drawing throughout the whole video. If you're drawing along, feel free to pause whenever you like to catch up with me. Let's get started. Now before we start our drawing, let's take a look at a reference picture of Blue Eyes White Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! And find out what shapes and form we can use to create our drawing. So I have right here the official playing card design for Blue Eyes White Dragon. Okay, so this is the original version. However though, I do think that as far as the anatomy of the dragon, this is not 100% correct. Some of the anatomies, I could be wrong, but the way I see it, some of the anatomy could be correct. It could be a little bit better. But this is just such an iconic pose and proportion. I am going to be drawing using the proportion and the pose. Okay, but for a lot of the details, anatomy and structure, I will be referencing the newer version of the official art. So this is a newer version of Blue Eyes White Dragon. But as you can see from this version, we can see a lot more details, and the anatomy is relatively more accurate. Okay, so now let's take a look. Alright, so we have the head is a very long, kind of half an oval kind of shape, okay? So, right here. See that? Okay, and then we have the mouth. And then this long, curved neck. Okay? And the body is actually the shape of an oval. Okay? And then we're going to draw in where the claws are, right here and right there. I'll be doing stick arms for now. No, stick arms to begin with. I'll draw some triangles for the nails. So one leg comes out this way, and the other leg comes out this way. Okay. Now the tail is S curve that goes to the back, and we have two bat wings, kind of like dragon. No, not bat wings. they are legit dragon wings. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So pretty much that is the basic shape and form of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Now let's take a look at lighting. So this lighting is, it's pretty much designed to the aesthetic. But if you remember, we got highlight, midtone, and shadow, right? So lighting is pretty much coming from this direction right there. Okay, that's how we're getting some nice highlights on the upper left, and then at the bottom right we have all these shadow. Okay, we have some reflective bounce light as well. So you see, when we get to the shadow, it doesn't go all the way dark. We have some reflected light here. Because Blue Eyes White Dragon, I guess it's kind of like a metallic dragon, you know. So a lot of the skin is like shiny, so it's very reflective, even in the shadow. See right here, it's kind of reflective, like in the shadow, you can find some reflections here. Okay, so with all that in mind, we now have pretty much the information we need to start our drawing. So let's start with the basic roughing in the basic shape and form, shall we? All right, let's start. Believe it or not, but this is actually the most important stage of the drawing. I know it's very rough, but it's the foundation of everything else that comes after. Okay, see how I draw very lightly at this stage? This is to avoid committing too many lines too soon. So when I start to refine the drawing in a second, the more definitive lines I'm going to draw heavier. Okay, and a rough sketch will feel like it's fading away as my refined line work emerge from the basic shapes and forms. All right, so check out the info card for some tips, techniques on drawing at this step. Okay, but we're going to move on to like the refined drawing. But however, if you're not happy with your composition or anatomy, or you're just not happy with how it looks, keep working on this stage. Define the basic shapes and forms. Look at the reference picture. We're learning on how to draw this correctly. Okay, so look at the proportion. Okay, look at the major features. Do you have it right? If you do, let's move on to refining the drawing. Okay, so here's my best effort on the refined drawing. So as you can see, because in the original artwork, I was able to replicate the pose and the proportions. Try my best, but there's lots of factors when they're designing a playing card. Because they have to make the head a lot bigger. The proportions maybe some of it doesn't really make sense. But that's my best effort of trying to correct the anatomy, trying to correct the perspective. So I did grab a lot of details from the newer version as well to kind of like take it, I guess, my own interpretation, but mostly proportion-wise, pose-wise, all the details, it is staying true to the original design. Okay, now see that I have a refined drawing now. That rough sketch feel like it's faded away, like it's never there. Okay, so check out the info card to see some of my drawing techniques and tips to help you on this step of the refining drawing. Okay. Now the next step is to trace the pencil drawing with the marker and then erase the pencil drawing afterwards. So I also have a lot of drawing techniques that I can share with you, so make sure you check out that info card. Okay, but we're going to start into tracing the line. Okay, so I could have gone with a thinner marker, but I chose to use like a fine point instead of I chose to use the medium point instead of fine point to trace. It's because like in the original artwork, you can see a lot of the lines are very blurry. Like the artist's original intention wasn't to have super fine details, and the way he rendered it, a lot of it is like kind of like smudged. Okay, so I kind of want to replicate that effect through my line work, so that's why I chose the medium point instead of fine point. But usually I would go with a fine point for like a drawing with this much detail. Okay. Alright, so next step is coloring. Now most objects you draw will have highlight, midtone, and shadows. And when it comes to shadows, there's also form shadow and cast shadow. And I can go over all that with you. Just click on the info card right now, and I can show you some tips and techniques on coloring. Okay, but for this step, I'm going to just color in all the midtones while leaving out all the highlights. Okay, so the highlights, I'll be leaving it white. I'm not going to color the highlight. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to start with pretty much just everywhere because the entire thing is just blue and white. Okay? Alright, start. Okay, so now we have all the midtone in there. It's already starting to look a little bit dimensional because all the highlight that I left in there. But after I put in the shadow, it will look even more dimensional. Okay, so pretty much everything on Blue Eyes White Dragon is like form shadow. You don't really see a lot of, you don't see any cast shadow from this artist's rendering. So I'm gonna try to stick true to that. Okay, so I know it looks relatively flat without the shadow, but let's put the shadow in there and just see what it looks like. Okay, see how after we put in the shadow, the whole drawing becomes more dimensional? That's because with your highlight, midtone, and shadow combined, your shape will read as a 3D form instead of 2D flat shapes, okay? So I know it looks pretty awesome already, but we're going to make it look even better by making the profile lines thicker, okay? So the profile lines are the outermost border lines of each major shapes, like the head, the arm, the body, the wings, and so on, okay? So by making it thicker, it will help read the character a little bit better, like what's in the front, what's in the back, Okay, like the arm is in front of the body, or this leg is in front of the body, and so on. Okay, so let me show you how it works. And there we have it, Blue Eyes White Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope you guys enjoyed this drawing tutorial, and let me know in the comments below what we should draw next. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Now remember, drawing is like playing the piano. You can have the best instructor and the best music sheet in front of you. You might even know the music extremely well, but it is only through practice that you will get better and become what you want to be. The whole point of my video is to provide a side-by-side training for you on a daily basis. Okay, so you will have all the help you need on becoming a good artist. And I'll see you next time.